Speaking of National Health, I've always been puzzled at the fact that you collaborated with Mont Campbell, who seems to me like a very different musician from
Yes,
the kind.
yeah, he is a very different musician. That's why he didn't really stay with National Health, really. You know, I think he saw that that type of music wasn't his music. I mean, he'd got it played and he'd heard it and heard the effect it had on audiences, which was good. You know, people liked his music. I think, you know, once he probably thought, well, you know, I've done that now. I think he probably found them. Whatever it was, he didn't want to stick with it. I think it was there were elements of it that were too sort of rock orientated for his liking. I think his music is much more cerebral, really, than the sort of music that I want, that I sort of naturally gravitate to. And it's very good, his music, very clever indeed, and full of admiration for it, you know. But I could see why he, after a while, wouldn't want to need to carry that on, having got that far with the music and had it rehearsed and played and polished, you know, so that his music had every chance to flourish. You know, for a year he had quite a few people playing his music on a regular basis every week, and he was able to write for that, and I think he did a good job and he took advantage of it. And I think after he did one tour and a couple of festivals or something in France, and I think that was enough for him. I think he saw that it was a lot more hard work yet to go, and and he'd done it. You know, I think once you've heard your music and heard how good it is, and I'm sure he was very pleased with it. You know, but then you move on, don't you? A year is quite a long time in anybody's. Or maybe even, I can't quite remember the dates, but it felt like about a year and a half or something like that. Mont was with something like that with the band. That's quite a long time, and he wrote some very nice pieces, and lots of them. So he had a good chance to hear his music done in that way, and I just think he didn't really fit in with the spirit of what Dave wanted to do later on, and what I think we all would naturally gravitate towards. You know.
Yeah, he grew apart.
Yeah, he wasn't a natural
music.
bass player, you know. He didn't have another person, you know, that he didn't have a great sound on bass, you know. He didn't even really have a proper bass guitar, you know. So he didn't really take that aspect of it terribly seriously, you know what I mean. And a bass player and drummer have got to sort of, you know, be equal match for each other, really, in sonic terms. And it's not just, you know, being able to play loud or whatever, but it's about being able to sort of generate a real, you know, sort of kicking bottom bass to the music and be able to sort of drive it along. I mean, as a musician, he could easily do it, you know, but he always obviously thought of himself as a composer, and I'll play bass if you insist. I mean, he was a bloody good bass player, considering that he never even bothered to practice with it ever. But it was a bass guitar, had a beer mat under the bridge, you know, and stuff like that, you know, to get the strings to the right height, you know. I mean, honestly, there's no way to get good, you know. So the bass sounds a bit feeble to me on those National Health things with Mark playing bass on it. I think that, you know, if he'd had a decent instrument, he might have got more pleasure out of playing the bass guitar, you know. But he was a very good reader, fantastic natural musician, really good, really good ear, and you know, he's a very good reader on bass, could read anything. I mean, that just shows you the measure of the man, you know. I don't think his heart was in it after a while. I think he had enough of it.
It was a lot of work at the time. You worked incredibly hard on this music. Do you think you
That's
worked
what I was
too
telling
much?
you. I was just saying to you, you know, he had his music played for all that time. He was the sort of person that he wrote much more than Dave and Alan put together. Not that all of it was used, but he had a big output, you know, and so therefore that's quite a privileged thing to have, isn't it? You know, to have that opportunity. And I think he just decided he didn't really want to pursue that any further, didn't see it going much further than that, you know. I think he went along with it to begin with because he found it quite interesting, wasn't doing anything else, and Dave, you know, sold the idea to him, you know. You can get all your most complex pieces played by, you know, a dedicated bunch of musicians, you know. It's quite a good offer, really, I suppose.